Hi, my name's Ian and welcome back to my Peugeot boxer camper van build. This is episode 14. I'm going to split this episode up into two sections. The first one I'm going to do today, and then the second one I'm going to do in about a month's time. And this is in relation to registering your panel van as a motor caravan as it stands in the UK. Now this is going to be for England, Scotland, Wales, and I think the regulations may be slightly different for Northern Ireland. So if you live in Northern Ireland, please check that information out separately because it might be slightly different to what I'm going to be talking about today. Firstly, what you need to do is you need to download one of these forms, which is a V1006, and in that form it gives you information of what is required by the DVLA of things that they need from you to be able to change it from a panel van into a motor caravan. There are a number of stipulations in there as well. What I'll actually do is I'll put a link in the description below as to where you can get this documentation from, because I've only downloaded 2 sheets of paper, which is all I actually physically need, but there's a lot more information in there as to what the DVLA require with regards to the type of vehicle that you can actually is allowed to be converted from the vehicle that it actually is into a motor caravan. So it's worthwhile looking at that. So on the first bit of information you need to supply on the V1006 is your registration number. You need to send them off, obviously, your registration document that you have for the vehicle itself, what is known as a V5C registration certificate. You need to basically send them photographs showing the outside of the vehicle, which shows obviously all the permanent fixtures, obviously in registration plates, that type of thing. But also you then need to send them photographs of the interior. I'll go through that in a minute. But your external features that you need to send to them is basically you need 2 or more windows on at least one side of the main body, and that does not include the windows that already have on the passenger side and front of the vehicle. So obviously your passenger windows, your front windscreen does not class, or does not count, should I say, as being these extra windows. So on my vehicle I put one in the sliding door, and then I've just got one just by my kitchen sink and hob. You need a separate door which provides access to the living accommodation of the vehicle. Again, this excludes the driver door and the passenger doors, so they're not allowed to be your access points to the vehicle. So obviously on a panel van like I've got a sliding door, but also I have 2 rear doors as well, but my main point of access to the vehicle is via the sliding door. You need motor caravan style graphics on both sides of the van for it to be acceptable. You also need an awning bar attached to either side of the vehicle, so it doesn't matter if it's on the driver's side or the passenger side of the vehicle, as long as you've got an awning bar on there. Now where it means awning bar, that may actually mean an awning rail that you can attach an awning to, and then one of those drive-away awnings that you have. But in my case I fitted a 2LA Omni-Store roll-out awning, which obviously is permanently mounted to the side of the van. Your vehicle also has to have a high top. So obviously a vehicle that you can stand up inside without having to elevate a roof. So if you've got a pop top or an elevating roof, I'm pretty sure that the DVLA won't allow these to be re-registered as motor caravans. If you are an owner of a very newly registered pop top vehicle, or one with an elevating roof on it, I'll be very interested to know whether they are registered as a motor caravan, because from the information that I have read up on, they're no longer going to be counted as motor caravans when converted. It's only going to be vehicles you can physically stand up in without having to elevate a roof. So that's the exterior part of the van. Interior features. Right, you must have seat and table. They shall be an integral part of the vehicle living accommodation area, mounted independently of other items. So in other words, your table and chairs must be permanently mounted to the side of the vehicle or to the floor of the vehicle. With a table, it is allowed to be one that you can detach and put away, but it must have a permanently mounted fixing point. Now I've actually got a rail that my table then clips onto, and then obviously then I can take it back on and get off again afterwards. Sleeping accommodation shall be an integral part of the vehicle living accommodation, can either be beds or beds converted from seats. Again, these must be a permanent feature, either with a base structure fixed to the vehicle floor or to the side walls. unless the seating accommodation is provided over the driver's cab compartment. Now obviously that's if you have like a drop down bed type of affair, but generally they need to be obviously physically mounted to the vehicle structure. Cooking facilities. Your conversion must have a minimum of a single ring cooking facility or microwave, which shall be secured directly to the vehicle floor or sidewalls as a permanent feature. Obviously in my van I've got a 3-burner Thetford cooker, so obviously that works there. The fuel reservoir must be secured in a storage cupboard or reservoir secured to the vehicle structure. Again, on my vehicle I've put in an underslung gas tank, so obviously that's how it's fitted to the floor. Obviously your fuel supply that you have to that facility must be permanently secured to the vehicle structure. Again, obviously I've got to use copper piping, and it's fixed obviously with P-clips to the side of the vehicle, and also I've also got a valve set up with actual cut-off valves for each of my independent gas supplied equipment, obviously like my boiler, my cooker, and also I've got an outside barbecue point as well. Storage facilities. This can be a cupboard or locker, and also form an internal part of the vehicle living accommodation, mounted independently of other items, unless incorporated below the seat, sleeping accommodation or cooker. These must be secured permanently to the vehicle floor or sidewall, except when the storage facility is over the driver's cab compartment. So obviously in my van, if I'd wanted to, didn't want to put any other storage facilities in, I could physically use the over cab storage facility that was with the vehicle when I bought it. So with all this information, you then have to supply photographs of all of these separate items. So obviously vehicle, you've got to send photographs of both sides of the vehicles, the front and rear of the vehicle showing clearly your registration number. You've got to send a photograph of your sliding opening door or your rear opening doors, whichever your extra access point is to get into the vehicle. You need to show a photograph of the vehicle VIN number, or your chassis number. So obviously under the bonnet of your vehicle you will find the VIN number, and you must photograph that VIN number, well the actual chassis, the plate itself, with all the vehicle information on there, and send that off as well with your information. You need to send photographs of your seating, your table, your cooking facilities or your storage facilities, and basically everything that's in the list that you've got on there. Or what I'll do is I'll stick some photographs in the end of the video showing all the separate things that you need to send photographs of. And on the back of the photographs you need to have written information as to what those photographs are about. So for instance, if I take a photograph of the side, show a photograph of the side of my vehicle, as in this one here, this shows that I have 2 windows on the side of the vehicle. I've got motorhome graphic, Motor Caravan style graphics, should I say, on there, and I've also got an awning bar running across the top of there. So on the back of my photograph I will put on there that there's an awning bar, there is 2 windows, and motorhome style graphics down the side of the vehicle. And that is on every single photograph that you put in there. You must give a description of what it is that that photograph is representing. So obviously it could be just your cooker, it could be obviously of your storage facilities, it could be obviously just showing the front and rear of the vehicle, showing the registration number, etc, etc. As I said, I'll put a link in the end of the video, or at the bottom of the video should I say, as to what it is, and I'll also put some example photographs in of what I'm going to be putting forward to the DVLA. Now for those of you in foreign countries who don't know what the DVLA is, they are the Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency, which is obviously within the UK. They provide vehicles with registration numbers, and obviously each vehicle obviously has its own individual numbers, etc, for it, and obviously they're the people who license the vehicles in the first place. As I said, this video is purely for people who are living in England, Wales and Scotland and possibly Northern Ireland. But as I said, people in Northern Ireland would really need to go and check out the information just to make sure that it is the same. I did notice something when I was online the other day, that there was some variances for Northern Ireland. So as I said, you may want to check that out yourself just before sending all the information off. I hope this video is going to be useful to you, and obviously what I'm going to be doing is, once I've got all my information filled in, I'm going to be sending this off to the DVLA with a request for changing my vehicle type from a panel van to a motor caravan. I would think probably, given the current status of the country at the moment, with obviously not lockdown, but tier 4, obviously might be less people maybe in the offices, etc. I would expect to probably get a turnaround within about 4 weeks on this. So part 2 of this video is going to be hopefully me opening an envelope up that actually says on there that my vehicle is now a motor caravan and no longer a panel van. So let's just see what happens with that one. Lastly, may I thank you all for those of you who subscribe to my channel and tick to like, etc. Please carry on doing that. Please obviously keep on commenting on the videos as a number of you have done. And lastly, may I wish you all a very, very happy new year, and just hope that 2021 is a far better year than what 2020 was. Yeah, let's keep his fingers crossed for that one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers for now. Bye bye.